Том Хугард, хедж-фонд-трейдер, построил карьеру главного рыночного стратега в брокерской компании в Лондоне, приглашенный трейдер на торговом портале Which Way Today, регулярный участник дискуссий на CNN, CNBC и Bloomberg.
Okay, hi Tom.
Hi.
So my first question is, you're known as a trader who has made some impressive profits throughout your career, but it's no secret that every market participant faces losses at this or that point. So my question is, what makes you pursue your goal if you have a losing trade?
Well, having a losing trade is a little bit like betting on heads and tails in a coin flip game. At best, there will be a 50% chance that my trade will be profitable, which is why I insist in my speeches on people never guessing where the high is when they're long, and never guess where the low is when they're short. When I have a losing trade, and believe me, there are plenty of losing trades in my portfolio, I simply move on because I have the belief that the next trade, just like a coin flip, could be the winning trade. But when I have a winning trade, what makes me very different to the vast majority of traders is that I press my winners. That means that a lot of my trades will actually move into profit, and I will buy more, I will add to my position, and then it will move back again, and I'm forced to take a small loss or a break even. So it means that the really big winners that I have may only be about 10 out of every 100 trades. And then I will easily have 50% of my trades as losing trades, and then there'll be 40% that makes me a little bit after it's made me a lot. And then I have these 10 trades out of every 100 that really makes a big difference. But psychologically, that's a very difficult way of trading, because the vast majority of people will maximize the amount of winning trades rather than maximizing the amount they make on each trade. So what that makes me is I'm a bit of a masochist when it comes to trading. I've learned to accept the pain of seeing good trades moving back into making me nothing.
So talking about psychology that you mentioned, is it the main principle that is the difference between the novice and the professional trader? What are the main difference?
Well, when you think about your question, technically, as in statistically, if there's a 50-50 chance that we could win or lose, then doesn't that mean by default that 50% of traders should be winning traders and 50% of traders should be losing traders? But the fact of the matter is that the vast majority in the 90% lose money over time in trading. So what you need to accept is that the odds are overwhelmingly against you, not from the market's point of view, but from a personal point of view. It's not the market that's the problem. You're the problem. And the problem that you have is that you think the wrong way. You need to think differently in order to become a good trader. And that means that you have to be kind of a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You have to be one person when you are out and about with family and friends, but you have to have a different mindset when you are in the market. And that mindset means that you have to accept that you will always have to buy higher than the previous person, or you always have to sell lower than the previous person. So you cannot be afraid of buying something that has already moved up significantly, or you shouldn't be afraid of selling something that has already moved down significantly. And that's where the vast majority of people go wrong. When the market has fallen a lot, they won't be looking to sell short. They'll be looking to buy because they think it's cheap. But the market doesn't operate with these principles of cheap or expensive. The market just has the prevailing price. But psychologically, that's very difficult for us to accept, because we're so brainwashed that we go to the supermarket and we see Pepsi-Cola costs X, but Coca-Cola is half price to Pepsi. So we all gravitate towards Coca-Cola because it's cheaper. But cheap in the market is a market that is going down. We don't want to buy that. We want to sell it short. So the whole balance of being one person in real life and being another person in the market, that's what makes trading so incredibly difficult.
So have you kept this trading strategy and trading approach throughout the years, and has your trading approach ever changed essentially?
Oh, I was the worst. The problem with me was that I had plenty of money to trade with to begin with, and I lost it because I was thinking like everyone else. And at some point, and don't ask me, it wasn't one of those epiphanies. It wasn't like a Jesus moment where all of a sudden I realized. It was more a question of hard work and thinking, I can't keep doing this. I have to start thinking differently. I have to learn from my mistakes. And I slowly and gradually began to realize that the mistake was that I always tried to find the low in a market, and I would never buy a market that had already gone up. But actually, when I began to look at it and look at my own trades, I realized that was the way forward. So when the market is down, I illustrated a dollar-yen trade last month. The market had already fallen 300 points in an hour when I began to sell it. Not buying it, selling it. And it's difficult to sell something that has already gone down as much as it had. But that was the right thing to do, and it turned out to be the best trade of the month. But not an easy trade. My friend David Paul, who has mentored me a lot, he says that the hard trade is often the right trade.
So what advice would you give to young Tom, to the young yourself, when you were making your first steps on the market?
I would say study a lot harder before you start using your money in the market and get your mindset right. And the mindset, I would have said to him, don't start buying the market just because it's fallen 50 points. It can fall 50 points more. And don't be afraid of buying something that's already moved up 50 points.
Does this mindset help you not only in trading but in your everyday life as well? Does it have any references to everyday life?
No, I have just the same problems that every other person have, you know. You become too fat, or your wife doesn't love you, or all these things.
Because all these, issues of consciousness, emotional approach, emotional control, as I heard that many analysts and many traders, they try to apply it in everyday life, and it works in everyday life as well?
I think it's inevitable. I think that I am different because I am exceptionally disciplined. So, for example, as an example of what I do which require discipline is I jump in the ocean every single day of the year, come summer or winter. And in the summer it's easy, but in the winter it requires a little bit of persuasion. But here's the thing. Most people, when they trade, they think about the outcome. But success is not built on outcome. Success is built on process. What we're looking for is not perfection, but gradual improvement. So I am just following the process every single day, and the outcome will just come gradually, like you're building a company. You can put on grand visions of where you want to be in 10 years, or you can just focus on doing the right thing every single day. That's how you build success. In any endeavor, as a human being, you become a little bit of a better person every day. You talk a little nicer to your partner, you're a little nicer to your kids. It's the small steps, because human beings have a tendency to want to make big changes. But big changes are very hard to maintain. Small, gradual changes, they are much, much easier to implement.
Thank you very much, Tom.